Is ready? Go!
I did it, I jumped!
And everything is tight and it's not going to drop off when you go out the start gate.
They just major pain.
Injured at all?
No, I'm fine. I can feel the blood running down my arm, but
Not a very pleasant feeling.
it goes away in a week.
I think I'm just going to say good luck and get out of the way.
You want twins?
You want twins?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Memories of last year. Hello, we're back again. It's BMX Track Wars 2 1985 style for the Kelloggs Frosties Championships. It's going to be big, it's going to be good this year. We've got the best from the USA and the best from the UK competing for £2,500 worth of prize money in the pro race. In fact, the winner will get £1,000 for each race. We've got 16 teams in a titanic clash of the track, and also the best freestylers, and of course, helping us do the show, Andy Ruffell.
Hello, yes, good to be back.
Great. Who we got on show from America for this
Well, we've
series?
got quite a few guys. We've got nearly 20 professional riders from America. We've got Stu Thomsen, Tommy Brackens, Hollywood Mike Miranda,
Brilliant.
and of course Nelson Chanady, last year's winner.
And Eddie Fiola.
Eddie Fiola, the freestyler as well.
On the freestyle. We've also got from the UK, Andy, we've got Tim March, we've got Sid Salisbury. The ladies represented again by the irrepressible Sarah Jane Nichols, and your younger brother.
That's right, yeah, should be very interesting.
Neil Ruffell. So we'll see what he can do later on in the series. Okay, enough of the chat, let's get racing. And the rain's coming down here at St Leys Park in Birmingham, but that won't stop the racing or dampen the enthusiasm of the crowd on this specially built track. Specially built for Channel 4 Track Wars 2. We're going to start with the pro class, 16 of the very best BMXers in the world, lining up for 2 semi-finals. Our race commentator today, Dave Brenner.
Yes, the weather wet and wild. Let's hope the riding matches it. Here's the lineup for semi-1. In lane, and Richie Anderson from the States for Skyway. Tim Judge, also from the States, riding for Hutch. In lane 3, Mr. BMX himself, Stu Thomsen.
Stu, you missed last year's BMX Track Wars. What happened last year?
Well, a few weeks prior to the leaving of the United States, I sprained an ankle in a competition.
And so you're all fired up for this term, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been looking all year for this race.
Great. Well, the weather's not too good, but I think there could be some fireworks on the track.
Well, yeah, I'll do the best I can, but it's going to be the same for everyone, so the track is okay.
From Stu in 3 to John in 4, John Lee riding for Talker. Lane 5, Hollywood Mike Miranda from the States riding for Hutch. Lane 6, the Diamondback team's Eddie King. Lane 7, last year's winner, Nelson Chanady, GT. And in lane 8, we have Scott Clark riding for Redline. Pro semi-final number 1.
It's time then, guys! Riders ready, fans ready, go!
Good start by Scott Clark riding for the Redline team. Well, we've got some trouble at the back, though. We've got Mike Miranda, John Lee in trouble, and Nelson Chanady as well. That is a surprise. Last year's winner looks well out of this race. I wonder what the trouble can be there. But it's Scott Clark riding for the Redline team, getting his side off to a great start. Look at that lead. Going over the bridge. He's got 2 or 3 yards over Tim Judge in second place. Round that berm coming off the bridge. They've got to go under it in just a minute. Under the bridge goes Scott Clark, still holding that commanding lead over the field. Really, all he's got to do, barring disaster, stay on his bike to win. Coming up to the final whoops now. Over it safely, yes. Scott Clark, Redline first. Second place, Tim Judge for the Hutch team. Skyway's Richie Anderson third. Stu Thomsen for the Huffy team fourth. They're in the final.
Scott Clark coming through to win. What's it like out there?
It's real muddy. It's real slippery. My brakes aren't working. And I came out of that gate. I hit the jump and I got squirrely. It was my fault. When I landed, I hit a bunch of riders, made them bunch up. But the crash, I heard it before that happened. So I don't think I was responsible for the pileup out of the start.
There's nothing you can do if you're out in front, is there?
No, the best thing to do is just get out in front and then hold your line. It's too hard to pass right here. If you try something, you might slide out and fall. So the gate start's real important today.
Got Nelson Chanady with us. Nelson, bit of a tumble at the start?
That's right. Chain snapped.
Why was that?
We tangled up out of the gate about 10 feet out of the gate, and it got really bad. King's bars were bent and my chain fell off. I've never seen anything like it.
Drama in semi-1, time now for number 2.
Okay, up at the start again, Anthony Sewell. Now, you're an American, right? And you're coming to live in Birmingham.
That's right.
Why is that?
Well, it'll give me a chance to do a little traveling for a little while, and presumably things go right, I'll be staying.
Good. What do you think of this track today? Bit wet, but generally.
A bit wet, but the course is pretty laid out pretty good. I like it.
Anthony Sewell then in lane 1, riding for Wheels. Lane 2, that's Harry Leary, Diamondback. Lane 3, Sid Salisbury, SE Racing. In lane 4 for the GT team, Tommy Brackens. Lane 5, one of the Patterson brothers from the States, that's Brian, riding for Team Patterson. In lane 6, Geth Shooter, the promising youngster, riding for Redline. Lane 7, Gary Ellis, Team Huffy. And in lane 8, Tim March, MRD, and they're all his own too. Big surprise, no Andy Ruffell, he didn't make it. Pro semi-final, number 2.
Riders ready, fighters ready, go!
Great start by Tommy Brackens for the GT team. He should come into this first speed jump first. He does, but it's Geth Shooter. This could be a surprise in second place. Still Brackens from Shooter. Oh, Tim March losing his pedals there. That's going to put him right out of it, but it's still Tommy Brackens and Geth Shooter going into the bridge. Gary Ellis in 4th place, but losing it, overtaken there by Leary and Patterson. Gary Ellis fancied his chances, I know, of making it through to the final. Could be out of it, though. Brackens, Shooter, Sewell, Leary going into the last speed jump. Over that, into the whoops. Tommy Brackens, GT first. Geth Shooter, Redline second. Anthony Sewell, 3rd for Wheels. Harry Leary for Diamondback, nearly caught by Gary Ellis on the line, but he's safely through.
Right, Tommy Brackens in there. 1st position. Is it tough?
Slippery.
Yeah?
Really slippery. All over the place. You gotta watch your lines. You can't really come out the turns real strong. You can't lead too far forward on your bike without your tires spinning.
And it's taking it out of you a bit as well.
Pardon me?
It's taking it out of you. Hard work.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah?
A lot.
In 2nd place, Geth Shooter. 1st year as a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's only my 2nd season in BMX racing. So.
And what's it like being up here with these lads that you've obviously been looking at over the last few years?
It's hard. Very hard.
Good place though, 2nd?
Yeah, well pleased.
Good stuff. And in the final now?
Yeah.
Any predictions?
I'll tell you after the final.
So that tasty piece of riding has certainly given the crowd a bit to chew on. Geth Shooter, great performance, the only UK rider among 7 US top guys in the big final. And the huge crowd are glued to their seats here at Sedley's Park in Birmingham, eagerly anticipating a great finale. There's a lot of money at stake with the cream of the world's bikers out to get it. Right then, here we go, the final of the pros, and we've got £2,500 in prize money on this race, and the winner is going to get 1,000 smackers. Stu, you are looking really mean. Do you fancy this money, eh?
It always makes the wallet just a little bit fatter. I'm here to put on a good show, and I want to finish in the top 3. I'll settle for 2nd and 3rd.
So, from the US to the UK, there's just one British representative on the gate, and that's 17-year-old Geth Shooter from Derbyshire. Geth, how are you feeling?
Quite pleased. I'm happy to make the final.
That's right. Now, does it actually influence your racing much when you know you've got £1,000 on the line?
Not really. I don't really think about it because it's only my 2nd season, so I'm just happy to make finals.
Well, it'll be an achievement to end all achievements if Geth Shooter does do it. He's in lane 5, alongside probably the favourite for the race, Mr. BMX himself, Stu Thomsen. But Geth Shooter in 5. Watch for the red visor on his helmet.
Best man wins, set him up, and good luck. This time then, riders ready, paddles ready, go!
Thomsen away like a rocket as we thought he would, bearing down on that first whoops like a bat out of hell, but Geth Shooter is still with him. Thomsen first, Shooter second, but Shooter overtakes Thomsen on that whoops. Thomsen didn't take it well at all. Tim Judge came a blitzer on that whoops there. He's out of it, but look at this. It's Geth Shooter, the only Brit in the race, first over the bridge, and Thomsen trying every trick in the book to take over that first spot. Lost it on the second whoops, but still some way to go in this race yet. Still Geth Shooter though. Stu Thomsen, Richie Anderson, Anthony Sewell up into 4th going under the bridge, but Geth Shooter, he's going to be £1,000 richer. What a surprise! This is the only Brit in the field takes it. Stu Thomsen 2nd, Richie Anderson 3rd, Anthony Sewell 4th, but what a win for the Brits.
Geth, what a performance. He's pulled it off for the Brits. What a great race. Well done.
Oh, I'm well pleased.
How about that?
Chuffed.
The crowd were going absolutely berserk in the stand over there, and the teammates are going absolutely potty. Andy, what a race. Yeah?
Totally excellent, yeah. Very unexpected. I mean, Geth just got out of that gate and went for it, held his own, and now he's won it. Excellent.
I mean, you pulled out, and I think your mum and dad's coming in as well. Here they are. What do you reckon about that then, Mum?
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant.
And I think his girlfriend's coming over as well. Here she is. Oh, go. Censored.
So at the end of round 1 of Track Wars, a Brit leads the pro field. Geth Shooter up at the top with 8 points, leading Stu Thomsen and Richie Anderson. What a day. And talking about winning, great news about Andy Ruffell. The pro semi-finals have already taken place and he's qualified for a place in the big main, as has last week's winner Geth Shooter. These two are waving the Union Jack against the Americans, along with Andy's old mate Tim March.
Now, Tim, we've had our ups and downs, mate, haven't we?
We have, but we're both through to the main, and let's face it, Anne, who the hell cares how they do it in California?
Exactly. This is England, and this is English weather.
We're styling, dude. I reckon we're all the way there.
We're going to do it.
Let's kick them. Yeah, yeah.
The one we've all been waiting for. The big race with the big names with the big money.
£2,500 riding on this, onto the pros. Let's talk to Andy. No, let's not talk to Andy. You get on with it this time. Let's have a chat with Brian Patterson. I haven't spoken to you this series, Brian. How you feeling, all right?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah?
Yep.
See, we got the same weather as last time, though.
Yeah. I guess it's the same for everyone, though. It's pretty slippery, but, you know, if you don't spin out of the gate, hopefully you could do pretty decent.
Right, well, you've got to do pretty decent today because there's £1,000 for the winner, first past the post. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Here's the lineup for the pro main then. Brian Patterson, Team Patterson, US Lane 1. Oh, looks familiar, can't place the name. Lane 2. Lane 3 to Judge, Tim Judge, US, Team Hutch. Anthony Sewell, US, Team Wheels. Tommy Brackens, GT, also from the States. Gary Ellis, another American, Team Huffy. Tim March, hello Tim. March Racing Developments from the UK. Geth Shooter, last week's winner, Redline, also UK. 5 Yanks, 3 Brits then, including Andy Ruffell in 2. And they're away first time. Tommy Brackens, the best gator in the business, gets a flyer. He's going to rise first, along with Patterson and Ellis going over that first whoops. But Andy Ruffell still well in contention there. You can see him, he's in 3rd place now, but it's still Brackens from Patterson. But Andy Ruffell, come on, Andy. Andy in there too. He's going to get up to 2nd place now. He's riding a stall for Team Rally, trying to take 2nd place, but always ridden out of it there. A suspicion of a little bit of bumping and boring, but that's left Andy Ruffell out of this race. It's Brackens, Patterson, Tim March up into 3rd place now. Geth Shooter trying to get up into 4th, but Tommy Brackens takes it. Oh my word! Patterson 2nd, March 3rd, Shooter 4th. But Ellis, Gary Ellis, giving a whole new dimension to the word going through the line. Let's look at that again as Brackens wins it. Watch Gary Ellis now. Wham! Got into a broadie and hit that finish board straight on. Brilliant stuff there. Gary Ellis back on his feet with the help of the St John ambulance. And I wonder what was going through his mind then, apart from that huge lump of wood. Over they go, over that last jump, and Tommy Brackens really is something special, isn't he? Great style he's got as he crosses the line, hardly pressurised in that pro main. So 8 points there for Tommy Brackens, 7 points for Brian Patterson, and well done Tim Marsh. He got 6 points there, the highest placed Brit. But overall leader of the pros, the UK's Geth Shooter. Well done to him, he's just ahead of Tommy Brackens.
Right, we come to the end of week 2 of BMX Track Wars, and the scores from Andy.
Well, it's mega tight at the top. We've got Hotshot with 46 points, 1 point ahead of SUPERCUT and Redline, who are tied for 2nd. Rally are doing a lot better. They've come from 6th to 5th.
You were very unlucky in that in the pro race.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, I went for a line and it didn't come off. And a few guys went on the inside of me and I got bogged down. So that's the way it goes, you know. That's BMX racing, isn't it?
Right, but you got yourself some money out of it this week.
Yeah, got a couple of smackaroos, you know.
Great, well, half each, half each. Well, excitement this week again. Next week it's going to be even better. We've got 6 variations of this fabulous track here at St Leys Park in Birmingham. So let's see what we're going to be up to next week by joining us at the same time for BMX Track Wars. And we're going to leave you this week with possibly the best hole shot of the week. Look at this.
Meantime, here are the big money boys in the first semi-final of the pros. Yes, 8 lined up, 4 go through to the big final. And we've got a Yank sandwich. Geth Shooter, UK Lane 1, Tim March, UK Lane 8, and the 6 Yanks in the middle.
Right, I'm going to talk very quietly here because someone's actually having a kip before the race. Richie Anderson. Oh, there he is. What's all this about? You were meditating or something?
Just concentrating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On what?
on my race.
Right, what are you planning for this? I mean, basically, it's get out that and get around and win, yeah?
Yep, push, pull, click, click.
What was that?
Push, pull, click, click.
Yes, that's my sentiments entirely, in fact. So that's your plans for the race. Push, push, click, click. And from that, let's start the race.
Okay, set them up, guys. Good luck. This time, then. Riders ready, paddles ready, go!
And that's a really good gate by the 8 guys. Let's see who gets the whole shot going into that first whoops. It's Stu Thomsen from Scott Clark. It's Thomsen, Clark, Miranda, March, and Geth Shooter's been wiped out. That's a real surprise, but it's Thomsen and Clark holding the lead now. Mike Miranda third, and Richie Anderson taking March in that tight hairpin going up onto the bridge. Thomsen and Clark holding the lead. Terrific bridge ridden by Brian Patterson there. That's got him up into 4th spot. It's Thomsen, Clark, Miranda, Patterson, a real old ding-dong for 3rd and 4th now. You can see that Patterson and Miranda absolutely neck and neck, but Patterson just takes Miranda going over that final whoops. Patterson 3rd, Miranda 4th. The winner though, Stu Thomsen, 2nd, Scott Clark. But a real disaster for the Brits. Tim March, after that good start, finishing 7th. Geth Shooter was top of the leaderboard, wiped out.
4 Americans through to the final, but missing out 2 of the Brits. What happened there, Tim March?
I don't know, I just got a good start. I pulled lane 8 for the draw of the semi-final. Got a good start right on the outside. Went into 4th, going around the first turn. Tried to get up to 3rd, make myself a little bit safer, and I just got stuffed from the inside going into their turn before the bridge. You know, I seem to lose a bit of my power. I guess chicken pox and BMX don't mix too well.
Yeah, he's got chicken pox, you can spot that a mile off. Right, Geth Shooter, winner of the first pro final, blows out in that one. What happened?
Well, I got a decent gate and I was about 2nd or 3rd, and I just hit the triples and just flew everywhere.
That's very dodgy, that triple.
Yeah, very.
Hey.
And just came over it 1 foot and I couldn't keep it on, so...
Such is life.
Yeah.
The next semi-final, will we get a Brit through? Well, Andy Ruffell's all fired up and ready to go, so join us for the 2nd pro semi-final in just a couple of mo's. Right, still on the grid here before this pro semi-final number 2, and both these guys here, Eddie King and Nelson Chanady, have yet to make a main. So, what do you think about that?
Well, the conditions are a little drier today than what they were before, so hopefully things will change.
This is more up your street, is it?
Definitely.
Great. And Nelson, a real surprise, obviously, you know, here is the defending Kelloggs champ. You know, what you got to say for yourself?
I'm mad. I mean, I'm really depressed about the situation, but I'll do good.
I can see you coming through with a burst near the end.
Yeah. My problems have been in the semis. I've been doing good in the motos, and this is where my problems are, but that's in the past.
Right, well, you got to do your stuff now.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, conditions really couldn't be better for the Yanks, including Nelson Chanady. Fast and dry, but we're pinning our hopes on Jamie Vince in 3, Sid Salisbury in 8, and of course Andy Ruffell in lane 5. Also in this pro semi-final, Tommy Brackens, who won last week, the best gator in the business. Let's see if he can do it again.
This time, then. Riders ready, paddles ready, go!
And another really awesome gate by Tommy Brackens. He's going to get the whole shot by a streak going into that. Whoops, easy. Brackens first, Ellis second, Eddie King third, and Harry Leary fourth. This is the sort of race that Eddie King wanted. It's still Tommy Brackens holding the lead, though. Oh, disaster! Eddie King out, blocks Nelson Chanady as well. Tommy Brackens, though, still holding a commanding lead going over that bridge. Gary Ellis second, Harry Leary third. Good news, it's Andy Ruffell in 4th spot and Jamie Vince in 5. Ruffell 4, Vince 5 for the UK, but it's Tommy Brackens, Gary Ellis, Harry Leary 1, 2, 3 for America, Andy Ruffell 4, and Jamie Vince for the UK 5. The top 4 go through, but what happened to King and Chanady? We can see it again here. Oh dear, Eddie wiped out, blocks Chanady, out.
Right at the top of the hill, we had a chat to these two, Nelson Chanady, Eddie King, and you still haven't made that main. What's this jinx you've got with the semis?
Just a lot of bad luck. It's just, I don't know. I can't explain it.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, every time the semis come up, you go off. Eddie, you're looking a bit sick, as the old proverbial parrot.
Agony of defeat.
Agony of defeat?
Definitely, but I'm not giving up yet. There's still 3 more races, and you know, when I make the main,
I'll be happy.
I think we could be writing a whole new medical book here. You know, we've had major pain and now we've got agony of the feet. Well, these are the main guys. If you're a real BMX supporter, you'll see behind me the cream of the world's BMX riders. There's 7 from the USA, 1 from the UK, our very own Andy Ruffell in this pro final, contesting £2,500 worth of prize money. And the first person past the post will win £1,000. Take a good look at these faces, because you won't see them for dust when they come out of those traps.
And the faces are as follows. In lane 1, Tommy Brackens, Team GT. Mike Miranda, Team Hutch, hello. Scott Clark, Team Redline. In lane 4, we got Mr. BMX, Stu Thomsen, Team Huffy. Lane 5, Gary Ellis, also Team Huffy. Lane 6, our very own Andy Ruffell. Lane 7, Brian Patterson, riding for his own team. Last but not least, Harry Leary, Diamondback. Well, Tommy Brackens won it last week. It's 7 Yanks and 1 Briton in the shape of Andy Ruffell, riding for Team Rally. £1,000 to the winner.
Guys! Riders ready, batters ready, go!
And another really blistering start by Tommy Brackens there, but an even better one by Scott Clark, Team Redline. He gets the whole shot from Gary Ellis. It's Clark from Ellis. Brackens off the track momentarily, but he's holding 3rd spot at the moment. Scott Clark in the lead. Don't know what's happened to Andy Ruffell, but he's out of this race in lying 6th or 7th spot at the moment. It's Tommy Brackens now challenging Gary Ellis for 2nd spot, and he takes him going over the bridge. Scott Clark from Tommy Brackens, Gary Ellis. A little bit of bumping and boring with Ellis and Thomsen there going into that left-handed berm. It's still Scott Clark holding the lead now. Tommy Brackens being challenged by Gary Ellis, but Brackens just holds on, does he? Yes, to take 2nd spot behind Scott Clark. Ellis 3rd, Thomsen 4th. But let's look at that awful start from Andy Ruffell going backwards all the way. Certainly not his afternoon, but very definitely Scott Clark's.
I got a good start, and once I got that start, I knew I had it. I wheelied a little bit. I thought somebody would get me, but I just kept cranking.
So we're at the halfway point of the Kelloggs Championships, end of week 3 on Track Wars. This walk that we're doing now is over the treble whoops, and it is absolutely horrendous today.
Yeah, it looks a bit dodgy. It's the trouble is you're coming down the start straight very, very fast, and the track's very hard. Now you jump these and you have to take it tight on the inside. So of course, as soon as you lean on the inside, because the track's so hard and slippery, you start to slide out.
As you can see, look.
That's right. As you can see, there's loads of tyre marks and there's a few digs there where people have caught their pedals, so it's not too pleasant.
Well, the Americans seem to be, as we mentioned at the start of the programme, cleaning up now. Tommy Brackens way out in front in the money stakes. That's for money, but in the team championship, they're after points, and Andy, you've got the scores.
Yes, Samaco 68 points, Redline 62, and Rally are now in 3rd with 55.
It's 5 o'clock, it's Friday, and it's time for Track Wars 2. Welcome to St Ellis Park in Birmingham for round 4 of Track Wars, and the sun is shining again. And Andy, the track is great, we know, but this bridge is something else.
Yeah, it's quite a big bridge. It's very steep, and of course, as well as the bridge and the triple whoops over there, which have been causing problems, the track is very, very tight. The corners are awesome. All the action is going to be in the corners today.
So today's track is built rather for style rather than speed.
That's right. It's a very tight track. The power riders will have a bit more of a job to make the mains.
Okay, lots of money at stake again for the pros today, but in the team championship, Rally doing well.
That's right. Yeah, Rally are in 3rd now with 55 points. So that's a turn up for the books. That's
right then,
good.
hello, who's this?
Come on, guys, let's hit for the action.
Strange person. Yes, you can say that again. Strange person. Let's get on with it anyway, and it's over to you, Dave.
Thanks, Mick. Afternoon all. Yes, pro semi-final number 1. The 2 British boys, John Lee and Mark White, on the outside in 7 and 8. Hello, look out, here he comes again.
Come on, guys, let's get with the action.
You can't keep him away, can you? I was going to say, I guess the big question this afternoon is whether Nelson Chanady, last year's winner, can make it through to his first pro mains of this year's event. We shall see.
Riders ready, batters ready, go!
And Nelson Chanady gets a really good gate. He's going to get the whole shot going into this first big whoops. It's Nelson Chanady being close pressed by Gary Ellis and Scott Clark, with Brian Patterson in 4th place. Into this steep berm now, coming into the bridge. Richie Anderson bringing up the tail, but it's still Nelson Chanady, Scott Clark, Gary Ellis, Brian Patterson in 4th place. The 2 British boys, sad to say, are nowhere at this moment. Nelson Chanady, a really commanding lead now, going into the camelback, over that, no problem. Scott Clark, Gary Ellis, still Brian Patterson in 4th spot. Chanady wins it, yes he does. Clark, Ellis, and Richie Anderson just gets up on the line to take it from Brian Patterson.
Nelson has hit that jinx. He's done the semi-final. Well done. What a good race.
Thanks, I just don't believe it.
And I don't think he's the only one. See how Brian Patterson here gets taken just before the line by Richie Anderson. There he goes. Certain agony of defeat there, I reckon. Well, no Brit from the first semi, but with 4 in the next, we must surely get at least 1 through to the main.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Mick. We've got 4 of our big guns going, but that's Tommy Brackens, last week's runner-up, Team GT. Alongside him, Tim March from the UK, Eddie King, Team Diamondback. And we come to Sid Salisbury, another of the home lads. Stu Thomsen, Mr. BMX. Our own Andy Ruffell in the Team Riley strip, and alongside him, Geth Shooter, who won the very first pro mains of the series. And then Harry Leary, Diamondback. All right then, 8 good men and true, ready for the off.
It's time then! Riders ready, batters ready, go!
And as you'd expect, it's none other than Tommy Brackens from America getting another really blistering gate there. He gets the whole shot going into the whoops from Harry Leary, Team Diamondback, in second spot, into this really steep berm now. Oh, that's disaster for Andy Ruffell and the British boys. 3 of them wiped out there, back on their bikes, but right out of this race. Tommy Brackens, Harry Leary, this is going to be an American 1, 2, 3, 4, unless Sid Salisbury can do something remarkable. I don't think he's going to, though. It's Tommy Brackens, Harry Leary, Eddie King, and in 4th spot, it's Stu Thomsen with Sid Salisbury in 5th place. Well, disaster, as we can see now, for Andy Ruffell. He was lying in 4th spot. He came a blitzer, there you go, off that steep berm, and blocked Geth Shooter and Tim March. Disaster for the Brits.
Anything to say about that track now? It's changed slightly. What, you know, any difference?
It's no different, just slippery. It's been slippery all day.
Yeah, but you come out there like a bullet, and you was over that first jump really well.
Somebody beat me out the gate on the outside, but luckily I had the inside position.
Right, so Tommy Brackens, the man in form at the moment, going home first, and it looks like it's going to be an All-American final.
Yes, very disappointing, but these fast tracks have really shown us how good the Yanks are. That means that Rally have leapt from 4th to 2nd, but I wonder if anyone can catch Amico. Watch next week to find out.
So this hard, dusty track has produced the first All-American Pro Main. The UK riders lost out either on that tight berm or were left eating dust. But at least Geth Shooter's got some consolation.
But I bet he wishes he was in the final, though. That's Eddie King. He's in lane 1. Alongside him, Scott Clark, last week's winner. In lane 3, fast asleep, Richie Anderson, Team Skyway. Lane 4, Stu Thomsen, Mr. BMX, Team Huffy. Nelson Chanady making his first pro final of the series. Alongside him, Harry Leary, Diamondback. Gary Ellis, Team Huffy. And last but not least, Tommy Brackens.
£2,500 riding on this race, 1,000 smackers to the winner, and Andy, there's 8 Americans up there, not 1 British guy. What happened?
Right. Yep, well, it's the first main of the series where we've had all Americans. Mike's laughing there, but, you know, we tried our hardest, but we didn't get through. Obviously, you know, they like the track, they like the weather, so they went for it.
Well, Hollywood Mike Miranda then, 8 of your lads up there. Big question is, why aren't you one of the 8?
Well, I don't know. It's my weather, it's my kind of track, my kind of gate. I guess things didn't go my way, though.
Oh, well.
It was really close between Andy and I. We fought all day long, and just in that last moto, he just nipped me at the line, so that's where it came down to.
Well, let's put your neck on the line then now. Give us a winner out of that lot.
Well, the way this gate goes, it's whoever has the inside line really counts. Personally, I'd have to go with either King or Clark.
King or Clark?
King or Clark. I don't want him to hear me.
He doesn't want him to hear King or Clark. Straight from the horse's mouth. Let's see if he is right.
Well, time will tell, Mick. Time will tell. It's the pro final.
Riders ready, batters ready, go!
And it's not King, it's not Clark, it's the king of the gate, Tommy Brackens, who gets the whole shot. Tommy Brackens from Nelson Chanady. The 2 GT boys, 1 and 2, going into this tightly banked berm. Oh, and Scott Clark, he's not going to win this week because he's caught a Broadie, and he's also clipped Richie Anderson as well. Clark and Anderson out of it. It's Brackens, it's Chanady, 1 and 2, Gary Ellis 3rd, and Harry Leary, Diamondback, in 4th spot. But it's Tommy Brackens, he's on course for his 2nd win of the series now. Look at this guy go. Tommy Brackens wins it, Nelson Chanady 2nd, Gary Ellis 3rd, Harry Leary 4th.
GT 1 and 2 in the big final. Tommy Brackens, an amazing performance again. You're sort of like really in form.
Thanks. Been training a lot.
Oh, and it's taken a lot out of you. Nelson Chanady in second place. It's nearly there. Come in.
Much better than before.
And you were really flying out the gate.
Yeah, my starts were good and just a little low on power. But that's great.
So Tommy gets £1,000 and more points. He can buy me an ice cream now. Can he be caught? Well, the sun's been shining all day and we've had some very, very hot riding on this track. And Andy, the track definitely suiting the Americans now.
Yeah, well, it's suited everybody, really, and everybody likes a bit of decent weather. The British rider, I'm disappointed the British riders didn't get through, especially myself, obviously. But I think the next one, you know, hopefully we'll get a couple of riders in there, but I mean, that's the way BMX racing goes.
Well, we've got 6 variations of this track. We'll have a new one next week. This guy here, Hollywood Mike Miranda, one of the best riders in the world, without doubt, but his tip-in leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, I guess my tips today were about as good as my racing today, but I'll have to do it next week. Next week, Andy.
You bet.
Well, you can join us all here at St Helens Park, Birmingham, next week, 5 o'clock, Channel 4, for more fabulous BMX riding. See you then. Sunny St Helens Park is still our venue for round 6 of Kelloggs Track Wars 2 for 1985. 3 questions to be answered. First of all, can Neil Ruffell hold on and win the Freestyle Championship? He put up a great performance in the semi-final last week, but he's got to fight off Ron Wilkerson this afternoon for that. Secondly, can Tommy Brackens be caught in the Pro Money Stakes? It's getting hot there at the top with the American big boys really doing their stuff on the track. And the third and final question we need to ask ourselves is, can Amoco be caught in the Team Championships? They're well out in front at the moment from the rally team in second place. Well, Andy Ruffell, who's been helping us out in the series, he's racing. He's up on the start hill for the first Pro Semi this afternoon. Let's go racing. Over to you, Dave Brenner.
Thanks very much indeed, Mick. Afternoon all. Yes, here's the lineup for Pro Semi-Final number 1. 3 Brits in the field. Sid Salisbury in 3, Jamie Vince in 4, and Andy Ruffell in lane 6.
Riders ready, fighters ready, go!
That's a level break. Now, let's see who rises first to get the whole shot. It looks to be between Gary Ellis and Richie Anderson. It is, with Nelson Chanady moving up there now into second place. It's Gary Ellis from Nelson Chanady, Richie Anderson third, and good to see Andy Ruffell in 4th spot, getting a bit physical there with Brian Patterson, but holding on to 4th. He needs 4th spot, remember, to get into the Pro Final. Still, Gary Ellis, Nelson Chanady, Richie Anderson and Andy Ruffell, with Brian Patterson in 5th place in hot pursuit. First 4 go through, remember. Look at that, double trouble at the finish. Patterson says, I've got you, Andy, and Nelson Chanady wins it. Well, it was the last whoops that proved Andy's downfall. Patterson comes through.
Brian had a bit more finishing power than I did. That's just the way it goes. I don't know why he was pointing at me, though.
Well, yeah, I noticed it was a strange signal. Apparently he reckons that you rode into him or rode across him somewhere on the track.
All I can say is that I've been taken out by quite a few Americans, and I never complained. I didn't point at anybody. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I got a 5th. I was hoping to get through, but that's the way it goes. Well, there's no Brits through from that one, Dave, but Geth Shooter's in the next semi. Good luck to the old boy.
I'll drink to that, Andy. That's the lineup for Pro Semi-Final number 2. Geth Shooter's in lane 4. Just inside him in 3, Trevor Robinson. The 3rd Brit in the field, Frankie Remain. Watch out, though, for Tommy Brackens.
Fighters ready, go!
Oh, boy, boy. Stu Thomsen hits the gate. He's out of it. It's Tommy Brackens getting the whole shot. And Trevor Robinson's gone as well. Just 6 left now. It's Tommy Brackens, Team GT US. But look at this, Geth Shooter up for Team Redline and the UK in 2nd spot. And Frankie Remain isn't going bad either. He's in 3rd at the moment. It's still Brackens from Shooter. Remember, Geth Shooter won the very first pro class in program number 1. Tommy Brackens, Geth Shooter, Anthony Sewell up into 3 now, but oh dear, Frankie Remain taken by Scott Clark. That's the way they're going to finish. Brackens, Shooter, Sewell and Scott Clark. Bad luck on Frankie Remain, rode ever so well, has to be satisfied with 5th, but well done, Geth, in the final.
Well, Stu Thomsen there learning how to hate the gate. He had his weight moving forward far too early, hit the gate and went straight over the handlebars. Now, meanwhile, out on the track, Geth Shooter takes these whoops very well indeed. Trevor Robinson doesn't take them so well, catches his back wheel and wipes out.
Right, we'll catch the final later on. Only Geth Shooter through from the UK. Can he repeat his first victory? Now, the track this week is the shortest of the series so far. There's a fast first berm, but then you hit the tight turns over and under the bridge and then through to the finish. And now to complete the picture, here comes the big one, the Pro Final. £1,000 to the winner. Can Tommy Brackens do it again? Well, in the first pro final 6 weeks ago, for £2,500 in prize money, we had 7 Americans and 1 from Great Britain. Geth Shooters in exactly the same lineup again on the final Kelloggs Championship. And Tommy Brackens, the real star of these championships so far. You virtually cleaned up on the American side. Are you happy with your trip abroad?
Man, I'm very happy. Just it wasn't easy at all. I'm glad that the weather broke through to be fair for just about all the American riders as well as European riders.
Yeah, it was quite funny because after the second week, all the English riders were outside doing a rain dance before the whole thing started. And you've got something to prove, I think, today, because you're in lane 8, which hasn't been very successful throughout this last day.
Well, I proved it yesterday that I could win from lane 8, so today it's no different.
Okay, let's see what you can do then as the big boys line up for the final pro final of this Kelloggs Series 1985.
And in lane 8, we've got the great Tommy Brackens. On the other side of the tracks, Geth Shooter from the UK, sandwiched between them 6 of the best from the US of A.
Thanks for coming. Set them up, best luck. Winner takes the lot. This time then, riders ready, fellas ready, go!
And it's a good gate by Tommy Brackens, but for once it's not good enough because it's Richie Anderson going to get the whole shot from Gary Ellis, Brian Patterson 3. Tommy Brackens, the only pro to make it through to every mains in this Kelloggs series. He's got to be satisfied with 4th place at the moment. But Tommy Brackens trying to take Brian Patterson now, but oh, look out, here comes trouble! 4 of them wiped out. Tommy Brackens forced Brian Patterson into a bail. That wiped out Geth Shooter and Nelson Chanady as well. That's left Richie Anderson clear from Gary Ellis, Anthony Sewell, who scooted past them, and Scott Clark as well. It's Anderson 1, Ellis 2, Sewell 3, Clark 4. A quadruple victory for the States.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah? Happy with it?
Great.
What did you hear that pile up behind? I think there was 4 or 5 involved there, but you were well out in front at the time.
That's right, Tommy Brackens came down from the bridge, took a very tight line around the corner and took Brian Patterson's line. He was going for the same line and everybody piled up and Tommy Brackens got buried.
In pro class, races for bucks, the slow rider reveals and last, so I just went for it and I guess I caused the crash or whatever.
Competitive riding by Tommy Brackens. That's why he's the Kelloggs King, Pro Champion 1985. And what a great performance by Geth Shooter to make the leaderboard. So there you have it, Andy, the final action in the 1985 Kelloggs Championship. A word about it.
Well, I thought it was really good. You know, like last year, the racing was absolutely superb. And, of course, it's the first time that the British pros have actually raced the American pros in a full-blown meeting like this one. So everybody's had a great time.
And well done to the City of Birmingham for help put this 6 track together, because it really is something special.
That's right. It's a first for BMX, because we've never actually had a track like this where you've got 6 different variations. I mean, there's 6 different start hills, 6 different lots of jumps. I mean, you need a map to get around here. I don't know how we survive.
Lots of highlights, of course. And how's this for a hole shot?
Oh, but Tommy Brackens takes it. Oh, my word. Hit that finish board straight on.
Well, I tell people off the street, I just tell them, well, I always wanted to be a girl. But I break down and tell them the truth that...
But Geth Shooter, he's going to be £1,000 richer. What a surprise! This is the only Brit in the field. Takes it.
Oh, I'm well pleased.
How about that?
Sure.
Eddie Fiola has not made that final.
Agony of defeat.
Agony of defeat?
Definitely. But I'm not giving up yet.
Right, I'm going to talk very quietly here because someone's actually having a kip before the race. Richie Anderson. Poor old Andy just can't seem to turn it on in the Kelloggs Championships, but then again, it's not really his fault, officer. Nick. Yeah, that looks very painful, actually.
Like you said, I got blood on my knee.
No.
But like I said last year, it goes away in a week.
Riders ready, go!
Whee! So for all the guys and gals and from me and Andy, it's goodbye.
Yes, goodbye. See you next year.